This is looking to be a very explosive fight. One that you definitely don't want to miss out.
So what would the result be?
The prediction is will not last 12 rounds.
Thank you. He's a legend. I think he can.
At the fiery press conference for his upcoming fight, boxing legend Manny Pacquiao surprised everyone with a bold and intense message aimed directly at his opponent, Mario Barrios. Known for his speed, power, and respectful nature, Pacquiao broke from his usual calm approach and made it clear, this fight is deeply personal. With flashing cameras and rising tension in the room, Pacquiao sent a message. He's not here for a friendly comeback.
Nice.
Okay, how's it going?
All right, good. Everything good.
All right, so
Weekend.
Good, man.
for a long time we talked about Manny Pacquiao coming back, Justin. For a long time we talked about him fighting. Now it's real, it's happening. Him and Mario Barrios, break it down.
Yeah, Barrios is champion, so it's a good fight.
WBC champion.
Don't count Pacquiao. Everyone's counting Pacquiao out because of his age. It's like a bunch of haters, man. He still has tons of power, tons of speed, and a shitload of experience.
If Manny wins, would it shock you or no?
No.
But it would shock the whole world.
It would shock the world, but he wins at his age, yeah, but it's not, listen, he's 45, 46.
Are you leaving jail?
45, 46, but he's always active. He's always staying active, he's always doing something, mostly playing basketball, some sort of sport, something cardio, so no, not really.
When Nate Diaz beat Conor McGregor, he said, I'm not surprised. So Manny could say that after he beats Barrios, that he wasn't surprised that he's supposed to win?
If Barrios expected to face a retired icon, past his prime, Pacquiao's fierce energy proved otherwise. Pacquiao's return to the ring after 4 years has sparked huge excitement. He's now set to face WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios on July 19, 2025, at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. At 46, Pacquiao is back in training with his longtime coach Freddie Roach. Despite concerns about his age and time away from the sport, recent training videos show him looking sharp, hitting pads quickly and moving like a fighter determined to prove he still belongs. While some fans are excited, others remain unsure if Pacquiao can truly compete at the top level again. During a recent interview in Los Angeles, Pacquiao spoke with calm confidence.
It's a very contentious subject, people moaning about Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat most fighters in the top 20 at 147 pounds. He's clearly not the fighter that he once was. You're not going to be at that age. My problem is that he's been inactive for quite a long time. Like we were talking about fighting him with Conor Benn maybe 6 months ago or a year, and every month or 3 months or 6 months that passes, you do become a lot older. So, I guess there's two questions. One is, should he be fighting again? And at the end of the day, if he's good enough to beat everybody outside of the top 20 in the world, then why not? But should he be fighting for the world title? I guess that's another question. In the commercial world of boxing, the answer is yeah, probably. In the ratings world and activity world, the answer is probably not.
Do you think it's strange that he's coming off the couch and getting a title fight like that?
I think when you've achieved what he's achieved, you've always got the right to do things a little bit differently to others. And with all due respect, Barrios is not Boots and Barrios is not Crawford. And that's why, we pushed the Conor Benn fight. Conor Benn, his best win is against Algieri or Van Heerden. So actually Pacquiao is a step up, and people were still complaining at me for mentioning that fight, like Conor Benn is Boots, but he still hasn't acted.
He talked about the responsibility of being a role model and how past losses have taught him valuable lessons. His words were serious but hopeful, and physically he looked focused and ready to fight. Still, not everyone believes this comeback is a good idea. Some critics question whether Pacquiao should be allowed to fight for a title after being away for so long.
I'm hearing things here. Manny Pacquiao aiming for a shock return to the ring, age 46, Josh.
Yeah, I read something about that, man. It's, that guy's my hero, you know, I named my dog after him and stuff like that, you know, stuff, but he's touching 50 years old. I think, you know, he should leave it where it is, you know, but, you know, obviously, if you get a chance to share a ring with Manny Pacquiao, nobody's going to say...
His ranking as number 5 in the welterweight division by the WBC has also raised doubts, with many wondering if it's fair or even safe. Trainer Greg Hackett didn't hold back when sharing his opinion. He said that if this fight had happened years ago, Pacquiao would have easily defeated Barrios. But today's Pacquiao, he argues, is not the same man who once ruled boxing.
I mean, but Pacquiao not Pacquiao no more. It's tough to go against him in this situation, because if it was some years ago, Pacquiao would beat Barrios. But right now, Barrios, with his momentum, might trying to beat Pacquiao up. I mean, not knock him out, but, you know what I mean, beat him on the cards, beat him behind that jab.
Similar to like Ugas, the Ugas fight?
Yeah, like on. It's a good fight, but it's more of a good fight for Barrios. Pacquiao don't need it, but Pacquiao want to come back, and he want to come back with a bang, so, I mean, why not? If he can make it happen, make it happen. Because I would love, if Barrios was my fighter, I would love to have a Pacquiao on the record. I mean, I would love something like that. And that's a fight you know you got to get ready for.
It's a fight that boxing fans are going to criticize you for.
Yeah.
But the reality is, Manny Pacquiao has a die-hard fan base that you're going to make money with that fight.
Yeah.
But everybody wants to see other fights at 47. You Stanionis, you Boots, you Brian Norman.
Yeah, but he want to steal as much as he can steal. You know what I mean? Because again, this shit is not forever. Just like anything else, it's going to end. So you want to make some money, and you want to.
At 45, Hackett believes Pacquiao doesn't have the same speed, stamina, or killer instinct.
Pacquiao getting back in the ring again for a world title fight.
Well, obviously, you know, it has to be pertaining to any kind of money. You know, it has to be financial. I mean, any fighter that comes back, especially from retirement, a guy like Manny Pacquiao, it definitely has to do with money. 1, 2. I think Manny Pacquiao, I think his C game is a lot better than anybody, a lot of guys' A game, even with the age. But you have to take into account the last time he stepped foot in that ring, man, against Ugas. You know, he didn't look good. He was outmatched by, you know, a fighter, a younger fighter. Barrios is no slouch. Barrios is a young fighter, you know, bigger fighter, knows how to, you know, control distance very well. Can punch a little bit. Like, he's no easy task for anybody in the welterweight division. And for Manny to come back after this long and to face a young guy like that is dangerous. And sometimes, you know, these old legends, they got to get beat up several times before they call it quits. You know, that Ugas fight, I don't know if it was enough for Pacquiao. That's why he's coming back. But Barrios, he can he can finish Pacquiao. There's a possibility that he can finish Pacquiao and basically cause him to go back into retirement once again. But again, what they say, the last thing that leaves is the power. If Manny got any of that power still left in him, if he lands that left hand, he can hurt the young gun.
And that this fight is more about money than true competition. Former champion Tim Bradley agrees, suggesting that Pacquiao's return is financial.
I wish him all the best.
Quadra, I love him. Can he do it?
Quadra? Can he do it? Absolutely. Manny Pacquiao's
Oscar needs.
He's a legend, you know.
Some nice ones, thank you.
He's a legend. I think he can do it. Absolutely. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but
not about legacy. He sees Barrios as the younger, hungrier fighter who could potentially end Pacquiao's career for good. However, not everyone is doubting Pacquiao. Boxing legend Oscar de la Hoya has thrown his support behind him, saying that despite his age, Pacquiao still has the heart, determination, and skill to stand toe-to-toe with younger fighters.
The man, as those other welterweights. So start there. That's a fair point. He moved up in weight, Barrios. So he's not a naturally big, natural welterweight.
And of course, we understand Pacquiao has moved up. My God, I don't even know when he first turned pro. You would have thought maybe he could have been a jockey.
Yeah,
I mean he was
180 pounds, right?
Yeah, jockeys are about 105 pounds, I think, somewhere around that neighborhood. I mean, can you imagine him though going to the whip? He might have killed the horse. That's the only thing. Yeah, you would have had Petter. What is it called? Peter, whatever. Peter. You would have had Peter coming after you. You know, look what he did to this horse. You know, but look, I love Pacquiao. One of my favorite people. One of my favorite fighters in the whole world. He's moved up from like whatever. Incredible weight. People forget about that. That's why I brought it up. How many weight classes this man has really moved up. Incredible. Just incredible. But now, yeah, Barrios wouldn't be as big as those other guys, but he's still a guy that's confident. He's a guy that's a world champion. He's a guy who throws a lot of punches. He's a guy who's younger, who's active, you know, who I know you can't go by this guy beat this guy, but he could beat that guy, but he could beat this guy, but you can't go by that in my business, in this business, because styles make fights. But you're right. He beat Ugas. You could say Ugas was a little older than when he fought him a little bit, than when Pacquiao fought him, and maybe that made a difference, whatever. But
he believes Pacquiao's experience should not be underestimated and insists that a true champion can never be counted out. Now the question remains, will Pacquiao's confidence and experience be enough to pull off a stunning victory? Or will Barrios defend his title and prove that the future belongs to the next generation? Share your thoughts and join the conversation below.